Hello, class. I want to go ahead and go over calculations involving paying for college. So this one's probably pretty important to you. This is something that's probably going on right now. So let's go ahead and go over it. I do have an Excel document open so that I can keep track of it. Just might make it a little easier as we work our way through. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So I'm just going to list each category that we have so far, and I'll just abbreviate them a little bit. So we have scholarship, we have tuition and fees, we have grants, we have work study, we have books and supplies, personal expenses, student loans, and transportation. Okay. So just generic so that I can keep track of them a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put in my values. So we have 4,160 for the scholarship. We have 40,520 for the tuition and fees. We have 21,200 for the grants. We have 20,200 for the work study. For books and supplies, 4,480. Personal expenses, 7,680. And student loans, 18,200. And transportation, 5,920. Okay. So it looks like we're going to be finding the total expenses and total funding. Okay. And the difference. He or she have enough? Okay. So it says Christine is attending a four-year college and she is planning her budget. So we have her budget and we want to estimate all of her expenses and sources of funding. So we need to first identify, are these expenses, do they cost us money right now, or are they funding? So let's look at what we have. So we have scholarships. This is going to be an example of funding. Someone's giving us money to fund the school. The tuition and fees, this is the cost of going to school, so that's an expense. Grants, this is money that's given to us by the government to help pay for schooling, so that's funding. Work study, we're being paid to work, so that's a funding. Books and supplies, now these cost money, so that's an expense. Personal expenses is an expense. Student loans, so this is money that's being given to us to help pay for college. Yes, we're going to eventually have to pay those back, but that will be after college is done. So right now, that's money being given to us. Transportation is an expense. Okay. So we have everything listed, and now we need to go ahead and get our total. So what is the total of her expenses? So I'm going to go back to my Excel document that I have set up. And remember, you can always pause and catch up if you need to. So we're just going to have equals, and we're going to sum up all the expenses. So we've decided that tuition and fees plus books and supplies plus personal expenses plus transportation. Okay. So that's our total expenses. And now our total funding is everything that we've marked as funding. So we have our scholarships plus our grant plus our work study plus the student loan. Okay. So we have how much it's going to cost us, how much funding we have, and it's wanting us to know, can Christine expect to have enough money for her education? How much is the difference? So let's look. Our funding is more than the expenses. So yes, we will. And then we just need to find the difference. So we're going to take how much funding we have and we'll subtract off the expenses to get our difference. So we have our expenses, our funding, and the difference, it's positive. We have more funding than expenses. So yes, we can. And now we just need to fill in the rest of it. So our total expenses is 58,600. So 58,600. And our total funding is 63,760. 63,760. And our difference is we're going to have enough, so it's more, and it's 5,160. Okay, so we have all of our values plugged in. We can double check them to make sure they're looking right. 63,760, 5,160. We've labeled all of our parts, and we'll go ahead and check it. All right. So it's just telling us that we didn't need to put the zeros back here. So something to keep in mind. Since it didn't ask us for a specific formatting, it's okay. It's not marking us wrong. But since it didn't use the zeros in the givens, we probably didn't need to use them down here. So just be careful with that. But that is how you would set up the calculations involving paying for college. All right, hope that was helpful.